I don't need to really emphasize how disturbing or how upsetting this is to people of faith, people who actually believe in Jesus. Greetings, y'all, and welcome to Seek Things Above TV. I'm your host, Lou Ciccone. So we are going to take a quick look at the latest visuals from Lil Nas X. This is for a new project that he has coming out on the 12th of January. And needless to say, it is provocative to many people, but we're going to get into that. Just before we do, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, sharing this video if you like content like this, and it helps the algorithm know that you want to see more of what we do over here. So without further ado, though, let's get right into this, man. So the latest single is called J Christ. And this visual that you see here has been released on Lil Nas X's Twitter page, and it seems to have some sort of golden three-dimensional cross on it, and it transforms into something that now has a halo over it, and there's this symbol over the cross, which goes in line with the album artwork as well. Now, I don't need to really emphasize how disturbing or how upsetting this is to people of faith, people who actually believe in Jesus, and how we perceive this to be a mockery and just a blatant display of blasphemy when someone puts themselves in the place of Christ, even though this is just a depiction of it. And even though we know that, any symbol is not really the real thing, but we know that what he's trying to imply in this, right? We know that what he's trying to imply in this, and he's using the cross, using Christ on the cross to convey whatever message. And if we go down a little further, he actually says, my new single is dedicated to the man who had the greatest comeback of all time, J Christ. And there's more artwork, as you can see here, where you have people pulling him up, and now he's on a cross, which is more typical of what you would see when you see a cross or a crucifix, depicted. It's more typical of that now. And there's people either lowering or raising him up. Hard to say. Some people holding him back up at the back. Whatever it is, bizarre. And this is what it is. So now people are going to say Christians are overreacting. People are wilding out. Why are you so upset about this? What is the big deal? Okay. That's always going to be the temperature of the room, basically, and if you go on his Twitter page, you can go on there. I should say X. I should start calling it X by now. If you go on his X page and go on his Instagram page, what you see is people going back and forth about this whole issue. And at the heart of it, man, we know what's going on here, right? We know what's going on here. For those who maybe are unfamiliar, what may have started all this, or what did start all this, is this post a few weeks back where he posted this and says, y'all mind if I enter my Christian era? And this was him basically posting the song where it's got some really vague lyrics, and he does mention he says, Father, help me, and this other stuff that he says here. And he's wearing a dress and he's wearing a t-shirt that says, if God is not real, who's laughing at us? So mixed messaging. People took this as, an offense, right? So people of faith were, offended by this, and he sought to try to back it up. You can see, I'll try to link another video, the previous video I did on this already, and many people have spoken about this already, so no need to extend this whole part here. But the point is, this is what started it. He pushed back when people opposed what he was doing, and there's been other posts as well on his Instagram page where he's basically doubled down and, basically just said that what he's doing is art, okay? He views this simply as art, and he feels like he has the right to incorporate Christianity into his art. He can incorporate satanic imagery into his art, and it's all good because on one post, I remember him saying that he's a guy playing a role. He's an artist. Okay. So listen, for us, this is not a role. When someone is a Christian, they are a Christian. We are not playing a role. We have committed our lives to Christ. We have turned away and repented of our sins. And now we are trying to pick up our cross daily and follow him. But from Lil Nas X, that's not what you're getting. You're getting somebody who wants to use Christian imagery and incorporate it into what they're doing and not change their lifestyle, because he has defended his lifestyle. When people asked him about all this stuff, he defended his lifestyle. So let's take a quick look at some of the things that were said on his Twitter page, or rather his Instagram post here. So this was it, man. I mean, you had a few people. Someone said, look, I ain't religious, but this just don't seem right, my dude. Right. So you have folks speaking up out, and, when other religions get mocked, y'all be quiet. When it's Christians, y'all be saying people are overreacting. LOL, the double standard is real. Just varying views on this whole issue. I myself would say, I think there's always been a general sense that folks knew not to mess with imagery, Christian imagery, not to mess with, depictions of the cross or things like that, because it was just something that you knew not to do. Whereas now, the lack of respect gives people the license to do all kinds of things. And it's never been right. It's never been right. Some of the folks who have tried to defend what he's doing here have brought up the fact that, Kendrick and Kanye West and other folks have done stuff like this before. And we've never agreed with any of that. Nobody's ever said that that was cool. It's always been the case where it's been, look, you are crossing a line here when you are trying to liken yourself to Christ in any way, and especially in a depiction of him dying on the cross, because that is the time when he took the penalty for all those who believe in him. He bore the sins of the world, and only he could do that. And so when you're messing around with that, it's never been okay. It's never been okay for anyone to do that. I mean, look, in short, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see how all of this unfolds. We're going to see how, when the single comes out, what happens next. But I would say that, he's having a great time. I think Lil Nas X is having a great time at people's expense, and he knows what he's doing. So the fact that we have had guys like Lecrae come to Lil Nas X's defense, right? So Lecrae, who's supposed to be Mr. 116 unashamed, comes to Lil Nas's defense and rebukes Christians for calling him out for the stuff that he does. Take that for what it is, but that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with, people who are basically playing around with the name of God. We're dealing with a person like Lil Nas X who wants attention and knows how to get it, because trust me, he knew that this was going to get a response out of people. He already knew when he had posted what he did about entering his Christian era weeks ago, that how that shaped out and how people reacted to that if he did this, it was going to stir, people up. And so he knows what he's doing. But honestly, you are playing with God more and more. And man, I hope that Lil Nas X just stops, turns away from this path that he's on for the sake of his own soul, because this, my friend, is dangerous stuff if you continue to do this. So anyway, man, let me know y'all's thoughts in the comment section below. Love to hear from y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And if then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. All right. God bless y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.